you're thinking about joining me, I'm talking about a company called VIPKID, and we are getting ready to learn how you can become a part of this program. And I feel really awkward just being here by myself, and I don't like being on video, so there you go. All right, we have several people who have joined us. This is awesome. So VIPKID is a company that it's basically a teaching company, and you get to teach kids in China English. So how it works is the qualifications are you have to be able to work in the U.S. or Canada. Thanks, Stephanie. By the way, if you guys have questions, feel free to post them in the comments, and I will address them. So you have to be able to work in the U.S. or Canada. You need a bachelor's degree in any field. They just want you to have a degree. And then they want you to have a year of some kind of teaching experience. Hey, Heidi. Or equivalent, or some kind of like teaching or mentoring or tutoring or some kind of alternative education experience, at least a year of that. So if you have those three things, a bachelor's degree, eligible to work within the United States and Canada, and a year of some kind of teaching experience, then you are eligible to apply for VIPKID. You will be considered, if you get hired, an independent contractor. So you're working on your own, you have to pay your own taxes. Contracts are in 6-month terms unless you're terminated for some reason. Your start date is, hi Aunt Sherry. Your start date is immediately after you are hired. Once you are hired, you fill out a background check, and you can start opening up your slots to get booked by students. Your location is your home. So can't see it, but I am sitting in our toy room right now. I created a little corner office for me, took a little chunk out of the kids' room, and created a little office, and so I'm in my home. Your hours, what hours they want you to teach. They ask that you teach at least 7.5 hours a week, or at least open those time slots. Your classes are 25 minutes long with 5 minutes in between before your next class. So they ask that you open up at least 7.5 hours worth of classes every week. Right now I'm not even booked that much, so I'm not even, well, it might be. I'm not quite working that much now. You also have to teach on their time zone. So they are 13 hours ahead of us. So I have to teach. So like my hours are from 5 to 7 a.m. and then I work all night on Friday. Or at least those are when my slots are open. As far as payment goes, you can make up to $22 an hour, and that's starting. I think after that you get pay raises. Your pay is based on your education, your experience, whether or not you have experience working with English language learners. So all of that. So you can make up to $22 an hour. They say there's a minimum payment of U.S. teachers that is $14 to $18 an hour. Who do you teach? You teach kids ages 5 to 12. So I've had all the age groups, all the major ages. They will place you in different classes that you're eligible to teach. So if they think you'll be better with the younger kids, they open up those classes for you. If they think you'll be better with the older kids, they open up those classes. If they think you'll do great with both, they open up all the classes for you. So it just kind of depends on what they think you would be good at, and then later on, if they don't immediately open you up for, like you wanted to do younger kids and they only open up older kids for you, you can request to do training to have those younger kid slots open up. The interview process. The process for me was a week from the time I submitted my application to the time I was hired and became a teacher with VIPKID. It was about a week. Mine was a little bit shorter, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So your first step is you click on the link above in the little description there, and you create an account and you fill out an application. The application takes about 5 minutes. then you wait for an email. My email came within 30 minutes, and it basically said, hey, we like what we see, we want to interview you. So if they if they see that you have like education, some teaching experience, all that kind of stuff, then they're gonna want to jump on and interview you. And they are interviewing right now, and they are hiring teachers right now. So if you are interested, jump on it, because now's the time to get hired. So if they like your application, they will request an interview in like a day or two. You'll get to pick your time slot, and they give you like 3 days to pick that time slot. So you'll pick your time slot, and during that initial interview, it's 30 minutes long. You will interview with someone in China, and the first 10 minutes is kind of a getting to know you, and then you will teach a 10-minute mini lesson. It's about 10 slides long. It's a PowerPoint. So you will teach about 10 minutes to this person in China. And this person it's a little awkward, but they are pretending to be a 5-year-old. So you are teaching an adult who is pretending to be a 5-year-old, but they do such a good job at it that it's totally actually kind of normal, almost. So you do a 10-minute lesson, and then they take about 10 minutes to go through what you did well and what you could work on. So that's your second stage. And after that, they give you, if you pass, they will email you again. So I think I got emailed very quickly within like 30 minutes again. They're very quick at like getting on things. So if you pass that, then they ask you to do some teacher prep, which is reading some information about their company and about the curriculum. And then you got to take like a little like mini test. Just read and answer a couple questions. And then you sign up for your Mock 1. So in your Mock 1, you are going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be teaching to a teacher, only this time, for me at least, it was somebody in the United States. It was a VIPKID teacher in the United States. And you teach 2 lessons. The first one is for younger kids, and the second one is for older kids. And once again, the teacher would be like someone like me, is pretending to be a 5-year-old. So like this lady put on her little bow headband and grabbed her little stuffed animal and started chewing on her thumbnail. And so she was pretending to be this 5-year-old for the first lesson. You get like a couple minutes in between your 2 lessons, so you have to kind of switch gears and go from teaching a 5-year-old who knows no English to a like 10-year-old who has some English speaking abilities, where you have to speak more normal to them. For those of you who have just joined, if you have questions or you missed something, feel free to post them in the comment section, and I will get to them. So feel free to ask questions, because I'm just rambling until somebody asks me something. So that's Mock 1. They say not very many people pass Mock 1 and have to go on to Mock 2. So, I mean, I there have been several teachers that have. I passed Mock 1, so they didn't need to do a Mock 2. But for Mock 2, they pick a level. So they decide, okay, hey, she did really well in the younger kids, or she did really well with the older kids. So they'll pick a level, and then you'll have to teach a 25-minute lesson on that level. And then once you pass your mock interviews, they'll send you an email saying, hey, you're hired, and then you go online and complete the stuff online. Good question, Katie Younger. What is the time commitment? You sign a 6-month contract. So they're just asking for 6 months of your time, and they ask for 7.5 hours a week. That's what they ask for right now. I'm not even being booked that much. I'm not being booked 7.5 hours, but I am getting several bookings throughout the week, and it slowly rises. Kids just went back to school, so I'm starting to get booked more and more. Do you need a special computer? Great question. No, you just need to have good internet that won't it won't disrupt in the middle of your lesson, because that's a big no-no. And then you need a camera, and you need a cheap headset. That's all I got. I just bought like $15 headset from Walmart. And then an orange shirt. They want you to have an orange shirt. Orange shirt is not a requirement, but they do like it. So you can look like a construction worker with me and wear your orange. And yeah, so I just bought this from Walmart for like $7 in the men's section. So you can do that. So when you are doing your interviews, if you pass that application process and you start on your interviews, you want, one of the main things you want are props. You need lots and lots of props. I mean, not lots and lots, but several props. So like you can have little animals that are props. I just tossed a lion. I apologize. Your letters. So, you know, you're learning there's a learning curve on pointing. You're learning the sound app. So then you have map, nap. So magnetic letters are a good thing. This was a Melissa and Doug set. I got it for like $10 off of Amazon. You can also buy, there's sets at Walmart for a couple dollars, but they do not have lowercase. So that's why I went ahead and bought the Amazon set. One thing I do for my lessons are, to make it super simple for me, is I just print on cardstock and I glue it to a stick and I have my prop right there. So super simple. And then also puppets, they like puppets. So just props. They want you also, remember, the orange shirt, big props for the orange shirt. Not a requirement, but definitely a good thing to have. You need to use a lot of TPR. TPR is total physical response. Basically, that means you talk with your hands a lot. So when you're talking, you say app, and then you point, you do your little ear thing, and they will listen to you. You know, you say look. They want you to talk with your hands a lot. You know, eat, tend to take a bite of something. If you have play food, take a bite of play food. So use your hands, because remember, those 5-year-olds don't have any English speaking abilities, and so they need to, it needs to be a visual where they can see it. They want some kind of educational background. Super simple. I just made a banner and printed it off on cardstock, cut it out, and stuck it on some, whatever that string is. I can't remember what it's called. So super simple, and I clipped it to the curtains behind me. So they want that. Also, when you are teaching letter sounds, this is something they will be looking for. When you see a T does not sound like T, it sounds T, T, T. So you need to have the phonetic alphabet down. Just make sure you don't add the at the end of the word, because they're going to be saying nap, nap. You know, like they need, it's nap, it's not nap. So that phonetic alphabet. If you correct your students are going to make mistakes. They always want you to correct them in a positive way. During that interview, they are going to intentionally make mistakes, and they're going to be, you want them to speak in complete sentences. So if you say, the boy napped, and they say, the boy nap, instead of napped, you have to correct them, and correct you just in a positive way. So I say, the boy napped, and then do that. So never shoot the kids down. Obviously, that's a given. They like high fives, they like thumbs up, and they like lots of praise. So when you do your interview, make sure you have all those things, because that's kind of what they're looking for in you. Also, with the younger kids especially, they don't want any incidental language. So you can't just talk like I'm talking now. You just have to say the words that are on the slide. So if it's like, if you're teaching A, A, they don't want you to say an A sounds like ah. They want you to say A, ah, because they don't know what you're saying. It's just gibberish to them. So no incidental language. They don't want you to say, you know, and when you say, so also when you ask them to read, I say, read please, and then you can draw on the PowerPoints, and then I circle what I want them to read. So I say, read please, but very little incidental language. The older kids, however, you just kind of have to gauge where they're at. They are going to know more English, so you can have some more of that incidental language. You just have to be able to gauge that and then just kind of follow along where they're at. After you get hired, you will you fill out your background check. That's the first thing you do. They're also going to ask for your bank account information, so you have to make sure you have that in there. You want to get paid. And then you open up your booking slots. So they will give you there will be a tab that says bookings, and you'll go in and you'll check the boxes that you want to work. And then there's also a little box beside the box, like in the box that you check. So like my 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., there's 4 boxes clicked in there. There's 4 boxes clicked, and so I click all of them. And then inside those boxes is a little another box. And if you click that box, that means you can be booked up to an hour before class. You get an extra $2 a class for that. So I usually book them. What if I need to be gone on vacation and will be gone for 3 to 4 days? Don't open bookings during that time. You don't have to tell them. They appreciate it if you say, hey, these are my regular hours. You say, hey, these are my regular hours, but I'm going to be gone these few days. And if you have some regular students, then let them know as well why you'll be gone during those days. So yeah, just don't open slots during those bookings, during those days. Not a big deal. Since you're an independent contractor, there's really, they can't say you have to work so many hours a week, because they can't say that. An idea of the salary. Yeah, a minimum payment for United States teachers is $14 to $18 an hour. You can make up to $22 an hour starting. So if you have your bachelor's degree, if you have a master's degree, you get paid more. If you have teaching experience, you get at least 3 years, you get paid more. If you have at least 1, then they'll still hire you. But if you have at least 3 years teaching experience, they pay you more. If you have experience working with English language learners, then you get paid more. So you are, it's all based on that. And Michelle, I can tell you from personal experience, because I've worked where you work, you'll get paid towards the top end of that salary range. Hope that helped. So you open up bookings and then you start to get booked. Once you get booked, you will have a little tab that'll say classroom tab, and there your materials will be listed in there. Each class has, each student that you teach will have a PowerPoint, and it's based off of their levels. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. It's based off of their level, so you'll teach that PowerPoint. Like I said, it's an interactive PowerPoint within the classroom, so you can draw on it. There's also a reward system, so they want you to give all 5 stars during the lesson. Kids earn prizes with their stars. So there's that materials, and then when it's time for your class, you can enter your classroom up to an hour before to make sure all your technology is working. But once you're in that classroom, it starts recording. So you don't have to open your camera, but any audio will be on that recording. So be careful what you say if you're in the classroom early, because it will be recording you. Let's see what else. On top of the reward system, they want you to have another reward system. So like this is a reward system I use. Little girls like princesses, so every time they do well, I give them a little princess to go in their scene. They also give you ideas of rewards that you can print off, but we happen to have a lot of these little magnets. Here's another one with silly faces. That's fun. So they want you to reward the kids. Not all the kids like it, and I've had a couple kids who could care less, and I just eventually put the rewards down and just focused on the slides because they didn't care, so I didn't care either. Payment, you get paid on the 6th of every month. Takes a couple more days for transfers. I think that's all I have. That's all on my little notes. So does anybody else have any questions? You can write them in the comments. Did I miss anything? Want to make sure your dogs are outside because they can probably hear them. Okay. Well, so far, my experience with VIPKID has been really good. I've taught 18 classes. I've had 18 different students, but I have my first rebooking next week, so I have a returning student, which is good. The other thing is that parents can rate you, so you want 5 Apple reviews. I have 3 of them so far. I have 3 5 Apple reviews, so that's good. Yeah, I don't really know what else. So if nobody has any more questions, then if you're interested, click on the link in the comments, and that will take you to where you can apply. And please use that link because, I mean, honestly, I do get paid for referring people, but that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because 9 years ago when I became a stay-at-home mom, I wish I would have had some kind of at-home income to bring in just a little bit and to continue teaching while I stayed at home. And that's why I'm doing it, is to help people, because it's hard to find good stay-at-home jobs. So use that link and click on it there, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me, and I will be posting this video on my page so you can rewatch it if you want to. Yeah, there's also tons and tons of VIPKID videos out there on YouTube, so you can go on there. I watched quite a few before I interviewed just so I could have an idea of what I needed to do, and that was really helpful. Some of them aren't quite as good as others, but you know, there, you get what you get. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me or comment on here and I'll be checking it, and good luck, and let me know if you decide to join VIPKID, because it really is a fun opportunity that you get to do from home, and you get to experience other cultures and meet all these cool kids, and some who are really tired. I had one kid this morning fall asleep on me. That was kind of hard. She was 5. She was obviously very, very tired. But for the most part, it's been a really good experience. So good luck. Thanks for watching.